All right, y'all. There was a giant elephant in the room. We knew exactly what the elephant was. And the way they started off this opener was amazing. It was great. It had so much heart in it. It had so much emotion. It was like literally just drove it got you pumped up for what was going to happen towards the end of the show. But here's my problem with that. We got zero explanation of what happened last week. Zero. Zilch nada of last week. No Triple H. Just Roman Reigns coming out at the end. Doing Lord knows what. I don't know what they're trying to make this guy be. I don't know. Here's the one thing that I'm just going to go straight to the end here. Here's the one thing that really does piss me off. What pisses me off the most is the fact that you actually keep making these dumb triple threats and never follow through. Stop doing it. If you want to make something of the new era, then you got to be legit. If you're going to make it a triple threat, make it one. Stop making it a triple threat in order to go back on your word. It's a given. It's starting to get played out. Seriously, it really is. We all know that there's not going to be a triple threat with Roman. And if there is, it's going to piss a lot of people off. That's why you never make that suggestion. It started off really strong. Got me kind of pumped up a little bit. I didn't really care much about the matches because I knew they were going to be good anyway. So I didn't really care much for them. But the one thing I honestly did care about a lot was what was going on with Sasha Banks. Now, that was the one thing that I felt that should have been the main event. And it would have been great. If they ended it with Sasha, I would have been straight. But they ended it with Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn again. Now, in my personal opinion, we know that these guys are great. We know they can pull off an amazing match. I got no beef with that. I understand that. But it cheapens everything they did at Battleground. This was supposed to be the last. There was something about Battleground that really had people get behind Sami Zayn and his win because he could never beat Kevin. And he finally did at Battleground. That left a really good taste in people's mouths. Now, if you constantly keep having these matches, it makes it seem... It makes it mediocre. And it doesn't have as much weight as it did before. That's what bothered me about this. I thought they were going to go past this whole Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing with Kevin Owens being the champ. And they move on with Kevin Owens and somehow they try to fit Sami Zayn in the mix later on down the line. But not to make it the ending of the show. Just saying, I don't agree with the fact that they made it the main event. They should have made Sasha the main event. But I know one thing that really did put a huge smile on my face, and that was the old day. I'm sorry. I don't like the New Day anymore. They grew on me, but it's just to the point where they're like warts that I really do want to get off. But the old day made me smile so hard that if anybody was having a bad day today because it had to work, it disappeared. This straight up. It completely disappeared after seeing the old day. It made my night. I ain't gonna lie. I laughed so hard. As exhausted as I was watching this show, it made me smile. I really did enjoy the old day. And the space-time continuum thing would have been really funny and cool if they just stuck to it. Like the whole Back to the Future thing, but they didn't. And I'm like, dang it, I wish they did. But other than that, guys, yeah, they probably had the best in 7 with Cesaro and Sheamus, but there was a lot of matches I did not pay attention to. Most of those matches were water breaks for me. But because I knew that they were going to be good. So I wasn't so much invested in watching it. So I'm not going to really name all the matches per se, but I am going to name some of the hot points that a lot of people are going to talk about. And of course, it was Sasha Banks. I just got Mark Henry. Seriously, we all got Mark Henry. And I thought it was brilliant. I was like, oh boy, I better tell my friend Prince, because I know my friend Prince is a huge Sasha Mark. And it was just to the point where I'm like, oh man, we're going to see some retirement. Because the thing is that I knew deep down that her injury did not add up. It didn't. And I don't really understand why now that they decided to take the belt off of her. Because now we got Bayley. We got Bayley in the mix, and Bayley has to stay a face. Sasha, of course, has to stay a heel. Do I honestly believe they're going to give Charlotte, they're going to give Sasha back the belt from Charlotte? No. They're really doing their best to try to get Charlotte over. But honestly, I never really thought that her injury was legit. But then the whole thing about the Twitter kind of makes you wonder whether or not it actually is legit. And yeah, there were a lot of press releases about Daniel Bryan retiring before Daniel Bryan actually did retire. But a lot of people knew that this was coming for a very long time. With Sasha Banks, that injury did look legit. And I ain't going to lie, her interviews look weird because I know that the fact that if your back is injured, you're not going to be able to sit up straight. It's coming from somebody who had a back injury. So I kind of knew that from the beginning. But you don't really know. Like, I honestly thought that she was gonna dip out, or the fact that she had to leave on some other pretenses. That's what I was thinking. Not so much because of the injury, just for the fact that she was leaving for another reason. But I'm kind of happy that that's not going to be the case. I don't know. The fact that I think they said she was supposed to be back in action on the 23rd of September, and it's actually the 5th. It's the Labor Day. So maybe they had her come out just to acknowledge something, just to say, and try to get the critics and everybody, all the speculations off their backs. So that's why they had her go out there and literally say what she's going to say, but we're not going to see Sasha till the 23rd. That's just me. But other than that, I thought that was a great move. Like, she Mark Henry'd us. She literally swerved us in Mark Henry style. That was pretty cool. I was like, oh gosh, please no. I literally thought that she was going to be gone. Maybe a part of me thought that she was going to retire, but then another half of me thought that she was just going to be leaving on other pretenses. Some people thought she was pregnant. Other people thought that, she got suspended and she has to leave for a few months. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I think it was just to cool down the crowd. And that was it. It was just to cool down the whole Sasha heat, the Sasha heat that's going on about her actually being suspended. So they had her go out there to say what she had to say. That's pretty much it. But I thought it was a brilliant move on their end. Seriously. And the sad thing is, we actually did see Charlotte versus Bayley tonight, and I didn't even care. I guess because I thought that these guys were good. I already know that these guys are good. I just want to see a championship match out of it. And I guess when the pay-per-view goes around, whenever these two go at it, it will be great to actually see Charlotte and Bayley go at it, because that's when they bring their A game. But when it comes to Raw and seeing these people wrestle, I don't really care. I wish I did, but I really didn't care. It's not that it's like boring and mediocre. It's just the fact that they're good. And that if something is on the line, they bring their A game every night. But when it's not, it's just a standard match. There's only a couple of times when you actually do see a work. Not a work, but a real clinic going on. But that's usually if something's on the line. For example, the Cruiserweight Classic. For those that have not watched the Cruiserweight Classic, go back and watch every single last episode. It's amazing. These guys, I have never seen moves coming out of any wrestler like that in a very long time. And it shows how much heart these guys put in their matches. It does, because they have something on the line to fight for. If it's just a standard match on Raw, it feels like a standard match. On SmackDown, it feels like a real wrestling match. I'm not saying that the ones on Raw are not wrestling at all. It's just, it doesn't feel like that there's a lot put into it. It just feels like a standard. I don't want to say standard, because these people put their lives on the line every single night. But I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't feel like there's more to it. It just feels like a regular match. While with SmackDown, it feels like there's so much more. I just wish that I'm able to say it without insulting them, because they put so much on the line every single day. But it's hard to do. It really is. But I know that these guys really do put on a lot every single night. But it's just something about those matches that just doesn't grab me. And it's not because of the fact that they're bad. They're great matches with great performers that actually do perform in it. But it just doesn't feel right. I don't know what to say, but it just, I don't want to say legit. It just does not feel like they're I'm not going to say putting their hearts in it. It just don't feel right. I'm just going to say that. I can't describe it, but I don't want to insult them, even though I have. Because these people put their lives on the line every single night. Even with the most minor of moves can injure somebody for life. Seriously. But other than that, guys, my overall thoughts is this. This Raw started off with a bang, but it ended in a huh? Like, we really got no answers at all with the whole Triple H thing. Roman Reigns showed up out of the blue like people actually care when no one does. They really have no idea what they're doing with the guy. They have him come out, act like a heel, but then in a way he's not heelish enough. Like, he has every right to be angry, but for some strange reason he's kind of playing it low key. I don't understand. He should be coming out busting some heads. Not literally, but coming out literally just beating people down. Just like how Seth Rollins did at the very beginning. Seth Rollins had every right to be angry. The same thing with Roman Reigns. He has every right to be angry, be mad. But no one was. I just don't get it. Not to mention zero Triple H tonight with any explanation of what went on and why he did what he did and why did Stephanie keep saying she wasn't involved in it, instead of Triple H coming out and talking about what he did and why to his wife and I don't want to say the commish and the GM, coming out there saying why he did what he did, something that we really need to know so we can be hyped up for the next week. We got none of that. So all I can say is that this Raw started off with a bang and ended in a huh. You know, that's pretty much how I can describe it. It was doing so well, but then towards the third hour, it just started to slow down. I wish it ended with Sasha. It should have ended with Sasha. It should have ended up with that kind of swerve. Even though some people kind of sort of knew. For me, I just got Mark Henry. I kind of fell for it. I ain't gonna lie. I did fall for it. I'm just gonna say it right there. But other than that, guys, it just should have just stopped where it was. But what are your thoughts towards this Raw tonight? Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm curious to hear what y'all's thoughts about this. Because other than that, meh. That's just pretty much how I see it. It started off great, but then it just couldn't hold on to that. And I wish it did. Because it wouldn't have been bad if it did. But other than that, guys, that's it for me. Naturegirl signing off. Peace out. Later.